Hello friends, good morning. Today the topic is lipids. Let's discuss about lipids. What are lipids generally? Lipids. What are lipids? What are lipids? So lipids are generally the heterogeneous group of hydrophobic organic molecules. Hydrophobic means they repel water. Lipids can't dissolve in water. That's the main thing because water is a polar and lipid is non-polar. So they are hydrophobic organic molecules found in cells. Lipids generally we found in our daily activities, like even our body cholesterol and even body fat is of lipid, and also the food we take, the oils or lipids, and also the steroids, some of the medicines were lipids, and many are lipids. Okay, lipids are sparingly soluble in water but soluble in organic solvents. Okay, then we go for next thing. Okay, fats and oils. What are fats? Generally fats are those things which stored in animals. So generally fats are stored animals as fat, and oils, the oils also which we take from food, are triglycerides. Triglyceride means there are 3 glyceride molecules with 3 fatty acids. Triglyceride composed of 3 fatty acid with 1 glycerol molecule. Glycerol molecule is nothing but which consists of 3 OH groups, hydroxyl groups. Okay, the fatty acid generally non-polar hydrocarbon with a polar carboxyl group. Okay, the fatty acid which we can see in lipid bilayer lipid molecule, because in a cell walls of cell membrane there is a lipid bilayer. Okay, those lipid bilayer consists of these type of fatty acids which consists of a polar head and non-polar hydrocarbon with a polar carboxyl group. Okay, polar head and non-polar tail. Okay, the carboxyls bond with hydroxyls of glycerol in an ester linkage. So in the formation of these triglycerides there is a ester linkage. Let's discuss about the triglycerides first. What are triglycerides? When a glycerol molecule, glycerol is nothing but an alcohol, all means hydroxyl group, they consist of 3 hydroxyl groups. When a glycerol molecule is reacted with 3 fatty acid molecules, then by elimination of 3 moles of H2O, means water, there is a formation of a triglyceride. This is nothing but a triglyceride. Okay, I think it is visible. That's a triglyceride. Triglyceride consists of ester linkages between the glycerol molecule and fatty acids. Okay, clear here the concept is clear. Between a glycerol molecule, it's a glycerol molecule, and these are fatty acids, fatty acid molecules, 3 fatty acid molecules, there is an ester linkage. By elimination of 3 moles of H2O, the ester linkage was formed. It is nothing but a triglyceride. Okay, let's go to some detail. Animal fats tend to saturated generally. Saturated means which consists of C single bonds only, no double bonds or no triple bonds, packed together tightly, solid at room temperature. And when we go for plant oils are generally unsaturated, means they consist of C double bond C or C triple bond C. This prevents packing liquid at room temperature. Generally the oils which we see, sunflower oil, example sunflower oil, or any palm oil, olive oil, these are all plant oils. These are all at room temperature, they are liquids. While in case of animal fats, means the fat, suppose we take us only example. So in our body the fat is there, it acts as a even when we go for colder areas, generally fat is protective in our body. Even animal fats, most of animal consists of fats. These fats are highly tightly packed and they are solid at room temperature because they tend to be always saturated one. In case of plant oils, they are unsaturated one. That's the difference between the animal fat and plant oils, means plant fats. Next, go for a classification. What's classification is division. Classification of lipids consists mainly simple lipids, which are simple in structure, simple in everything, and the other thing is compound lipids, the other thing is derived lipids. Okay, these three types of lipids. Let's go for simple lipids. What are simple lipids? Simple lipids are esters of fatty acids with alcohol. They are esters of fatty acid with alcohol. It's nothing but suppose a glycerol is reacted with 3 fatty acid to form a triglyceride. As we see in example just now, triglyceride. This triglyceride molecule is nothing but a simple fatty acid molecule, because it consists of a fatty acid with alcohol is nothing but glycerol. Alcohol, 3 OH groups, it consists of glycerol. By ester bonds, the triglyceride is formed between the glycerol and fatty acid. There is an ester bonds, and also includes neutral fats and waxes. Also waxes, as we know, neutral fats and oils, mixture of triglycerides, as we discussed now, whose fatty acid composition may vary with source, because the source of fatty acid, it depends upon the source of fatty acid. Neutral fats are obtained from animal sources, while oils are from plant sources. Neutral fats have more number of saturated fatty acids, have higher melting point. Okay, here if the more number of saturated fatty acids, means saturated means which consists of only C and C single bonds, then the melting point is higher. Means as we discussed now, the animal fat is more rigid, solid in structure, and also it can't melt at room temperature. It is very tightly packed. So in case of neutral fats also the same concept is applied, where which have more saturated fatty acids. More saturated fatty acids means they have obviously higher melting point. They are nothing but some animal fats. Neutral oils are rich in unsaturated fatty acids and have low in melting point. Okay, neutral oils which are derived from the plants, they have more unsaturated fatty acids and have low melting point. And a wax is a simple lipid which is an ester of long chain alcohol and fatty acids. And wax also is a simple lipid. So these are simple lipids. These comes under simple lipid. Whatever comes under simple lipids, the simple lipids are, one is triglyceride. Triglyceride is nothing but a mixture of and glycerol plus 3 fatty acid molecule. Glycerol is nothing but an alcohol and any 3 fatty acid molecules. It forms by a ester linkage. Okay, the ester bonds between the glycerol and fatty acids. Next, there are neutral fats and oils. Neutral fats are nothing but animal fats which are saturated morely, so they have higher melting points. Saturated and neutral oils are nothing but plant derived oils. They are also unsaturated. So due to the unsaturation, means they have more C double bond and the C triple bonds between C and C carbons. So they have low melting point rather than neutral fats. And the wax is finally a simple liquid which is an ester of long chain alcohol and fatty acids. Let's go for compound lipids. What are compound lipids? Comprise of fatty acid, alcohol and amphipathic group. Amphipathic group. Okay, an amphipathic group means which have both polar and both non-polar characteristics. Okay, here we have to note that both polar and non-polar characteristic is known as amphipathic. Amphi means both. For example, an amphibian means an organism which lives both in land and water is known as an amphibian. So usually by that meaning only the word is there. Amphipathic means both characteristics. So it can exhibit a polar nature and it can exhibit a non-polar nature. So it can dissolve in water, it can dissolve in organic solvents also. So comprised of a fatty acid, one is fatty acid and alcohol. Both fatty acid and alcohol are nothing but a simple lipids. Okay, like triglyceride. In addition to that, there is an amphipathic group also. Phospholipids, for example, we take phospholipids. Phospholipids are the structural components of these cell membranes of a cell. Usually, we know the cell membrane consists of phospholipids, a lipid bilayer of a cell membrane. The phospholipids, lipid conjugated with a phosphoric acid, are nothing but a phospholipids. Okay, when a lipid molecule is conjugated with a phosphorus group, phosphoric acid, not a group also, it's a phosphoric acid. then it is called as a phospholipids. And glycolipids, the other one is glycolipids, first one is phospholipids. Lipids with carbohydrate attached a glycosidic bond, they are generally components of cell membrane. These are also components of glycolipids. If suppose this is the cell membrane, and upper the cell membrane, the glycolipids are present like this, like a chain like structure, like this. These are nothing but glycolipids. Okay, this is the cell membrane, or it's also called as plasma membrane. So those are called as glycolipids. And next, lipoproteins consists of both proteins and lipids bound to the lipoproteins, contains both proteins and lipids bound to proteins, which allows fats to move through water inside and outside of cell. Lipoproteins are very, very essential for the movement of the molecules from inside the cell, because the transport of molecules outside to inside the cell and inside to outside the cell was carried out by lipoproteins. They are very, very essential. Contains both protein, so its name is, they are like lipoproteins. So lipoproteins, lipo means lipid, protein means proteins. They consist of both characteristics. So it contains both proteins and lipids bound to the proteins, which allows fats to move through the water inside and outside cells. Okay, which allows fats to move. So lipoproteins, lipoproteins, okay, which consists of both lipid and protein, which are generally bound to protein, which allows fats to move through the water inside and outside the cell. That's the concept of lipoprotein. Hello guys, let's discuss about phospholipids. Okay, what are phospholipids? They contain one or more phosphoric acid residue and a polar group, that may be nitrogenous base or amino acid or a polyhydroxyl alcohol. Okay, phospholipids. Generally, phospholipids we can see regularly in cell membranes, in bilipid layer membranes. Usually a phospholipid which consists of two fatty acid chains with a phosphoric group in head part. It is called head, and this is the tail portion. Okay, phosphorus group contains one or more phosphoric acid residue. This is a phosphoric acid residue, and these are two polar fatty acids. Polar group, head is a polar one, fatty acids are non-polar. Also contains one or two long chain fatty acids, as we discussed now. Amphipathic in nature means amphipathic, which has both nature, both polar and non-polar. Why it is amphipathic nature? Let me explain. Amphipathic means, normally I explained in the previous slide, the amphipathic means amphi means both characteristics. Means it consists a polar head and a non-polar fatty acids. So it consists of both polar and non-polar nature. It consists of both polar and non-polar nature. So it's called as amphipathic nature. So here also it's mentioned hydrophilic head. Hydrophilic head means polar, and hydrophobic long tail. So it's called as amphipathic nature. And hydrophilic domain interacts with aqueous environment and contain a phosphate group and an alcohol. And hydrophobic form is non-aqueous environment they interact with, and there's a long fatty acid chains. That is about phospholipids. Okay, there are types of phospholipids. Let me discuss in brief way. There are many types of phospholipids. One is glycerophospholipids. Other one is sphingolipids. There are two types of phospholipids. Okay, let's discuss about the glycerophospholipids. Derivatives of glycerol, also called as phosphoglycerides, like lecithins, cephalins, phosphatidylatols, and plasminogens. Okay, these are glycerophospholipids. Okay, lecithin are the surface active agent. The lecithin is the surface active agent that help in emulsification of fats. Emulsification of fats, we know that process. And widely distributed in brain cells, nerve cells, sperm and egg yolk. And cephalins are present in erythrocyte membrane, brain and many other tissues. So these are about glycerophospholipids. They are lecithins, cephalins and phosphatidylnotols. They are phosphoglycerides containing of inositol instead of nitrogenous base, found mainly in brain. Okay, note that. Next is plasmalogens. Plasmalogens contains glycerol and unsaturated fatty acid linked with ester linkage, or not ester, ether linkage, ether bonds. So present in cardiac and skeletal muscles and semen. Okay, here the linkage, let me explain. The linkage between here also the glycerol and fatty acid, these are the simple lipids. There is ester linkage, and as we discussed now the simple lipids next week before, these phospholipids are compound lipids. Okay, the phospholipids, there are two types. One is glycerophospholipids and another one is sphingolipids. Glycerophospholipids we discussed now, and the phospholipids, there are four types of phospholipids, and also that is plasmogens contains glycerol and unsaturated fatty acids linked by ether linkage, present in cardiac and skeletal muscles and semen. Ether linkage only, because here the unsaturated fatty acid, this changes in case of triglycerides, they are saturated. Okay, the phospholipids. As we discussed the types, let's discuss the second type, that is sphingolipids. Second type. Okay, the second type is sphingolipids, are the class of lipid containing a backbone of sphingosine bases, a set of aliphatic amino alcohols that include sphingosine. Myelin sheet in a nerve axon are rich in sphingomyelin. So sphingomyelin we see in myelin sheet of nerve's axon. So this is the nerve axon. In the nerve axon, usually this is the body and this is the thing. Here myelin sheets are present. In the middle part, myelin sheets are present. These myelin sheets are, these are dendrites. These myelin sheets are rich in sphingomyelin. Okay, this sphingomyelin is nothing but they are sphingolipids which are present in our body. Okay, in case of sphingolipids also, there are types. Cerebrosides containing ceramide attached as sugar residue such as glucose, majorly found in white matter of the brain and spinal cord. White matter consists of these cerebrosides. Gangliosides are complex glycolipids present in a large amount of ganglion cells of central nervous system. And then we discussed about the phospholipids briefly. The fatty acid bound to glycerol, a phosphate group replaces the one fatty acid. Phosphate group, the hydrophilic one is the head. The tails are of fatty acid chains, they are hydrophobic. Thus, this is an amphipathic nature. Means like this. And the head is polar, react with polar, means the head is hydrophilic, it is phosphoric group. The tails are hydrophobic. Okay. So, completely it is amphipathic nature. Okay. What is phospholipid bilayer? Usually we can see in cell membranes, mostly even the cell organelles. We can see this phospholipid bilayer. Okay, this is the phospholipid bilayer. You can see clearly. These are tails. This is head. Okay, these are fatty acid chains. This is phosphoric group. So totally it is an amphipathic nature. By combination of these things, a cell membrane is formed. Cell membrane or plasma membrane, those all comes under this only. Detailed structure of phosphatidylcholine. Okay, choline. So this is a phosphatidylcholine. This is also a phospholipid. Here choline is an addition, so in the name it is choline. Okay, it is, you can see here clearly one hydrophilic head is there, hydrophobic tail. A glycerol is present in middle between the hydrophilic head and hydrophobic tail. Okay, this is the structure. Fatty acids are amphipathic. Yes, they have opposing chemical properties also. When the carboxyl group ionizes, it forms COO and strongly hydrophilic, other end of hydrophobic. In water, phospholipids line up with a hydrophobic tails together and the phosphate heads facing outward to a bilayer. Suppose this is a bilayer actually. In case of in water, the phospholipid, how the phospholipid react means the phospholipid line up with the hydrophobic tails. These are hydrophobic tails together. The phosphate head outward. So we seen in the previous figure that this is the phospholipids. This is the water. Okay, this is the water. The heads towards the water and the tails away from the water. Heads facing outward. This is the outward. The biological membrane have this kind of phospholipid bilayer structure, so it's called a phospholipid bilayer structure. Physiological role of phospholipids. This is very important. How the role of phospholipids in the cell as part of a cell and many things. They are a part of cell membrane. Functions are reserved for intracellular messages. Serves as an anchor means for support for some proteins. Components of lung surfactants also. Essential component of bile and helps in regulation of serum control. Serum cholesterol, not control. It's a serum cholesterol. This is a type of cholesterol. Let's discuss about lipoproteins. What are lipoproteins? As we discussed, lipoprotein also comes under compound lipids, complex lipids, not a simple one. It's their complex lipid. A lipoprotein is a biochemical assembly that contains both proteins and lipids. A lipoprotein, okay, in the name only it's indicated that lipo means lipid, protein means protein. It has both lipid and protein characteristics. Both are present. When both integrate, then the formation of lipoprotein was done perfectly. So a lipoprotein is a biochemical assembly that contains both proteins and lipids bound to the proteins, which allow fats to move through the water inside and outside the cell. So these lipoproteins are very useful for moving out of fat to move through the water inside and outside for transportation purposes. They are compound lipids. Okay, yeah, these are compound lipids. Globular missile-like particles consist of non-polar core of triacyl glycerols and cholesterol esters, which are surrounded by the amphiphilic coating that consists of proteins, cholesterol, and phospholipids. So usually globular missile-like structures. Missile-like structure means these are structures which usually have non-polar core of triacyl glycerols and cholesterol esters, which are surrounded by amphiphilic coating. Okay, amphiphilic coating. So it is both nature that consists of protein, cholesterol, and phospholipids also. So as known as protein lipid complex or proteolipids, also known as. Okay, lipoproteins, the classification. Chylomicrons, as we know the chylomicrons, they are very essential molecules for transportation. So chylomicrons, very low density lipoprotein, and low density lipoprotein, high density lipoprotein. Okay, this is the classification according to size. Chylomicrons are very big. Okay, chylomicrons are very big and very low density lipoproteins are next to chylomicrons in the respect of size. Next ideal, next lipoprotein, then low density lipoprotein, and next is high density lipoprotein. This is high density lipoprotein. And next, so here the first is chylomicron, next very low density lipoprotein, ideal density lipoprotein, low density lipoprotein, high density lipoprotein. Next we go for lipoprotein in the classification. That is first one is chylomicrons. The chylomicrons, very large particles secreted into lymphatics, okay, lymphatics by mucosal cells of small intestine. Okay, 90% of the mass is triglycerides esterified with the cholesterol and fat soluble vitamins. Surface layer is made up of free cholesterol, phospholipids and apoproteins. Okay, those surface layer was made up of free cholesterol, phospholipids and apoproteins. When we go for functions of these chylomicrons transport lipids absorbed from the intestine to adipose, cardiac and skeletal muscles tissues. So where the triglycerides, so usually for the transportation purposes the lipoproteins are useful. So why the lipoproteins are useful? So what is the cause? They in the function of transportation mainly. When a large portion of triacylglycerol core have been hydrolyzed, chylomicron remnants are formed and taken up to liver, hereby transforming dietary fat also to the liver. It transports dietary fats and cholesterol from intestine to tissue. In the huge transport from the intestine, the chylomicrons transport the fats to the all over the body, all over the tissues, or to the liver and to the cardiac and adipose tissues. So those are the functions of chylomicrons. Next, the lipoproteins, very low density lipoprotein. We talk about the very low density lipoprotein. So very low density lipoproteins, they are large particles which are secreted in the bloodstream by hepatocytes, means liver cells. Hepatocytes. 50 to 60% mass in triglycerides consists of relative more cholesterol esters than chylomicron. Note that surface consists of free cholesterol, phospholipids and single molecule of ApoB100 and other proteins. It is transformed in intermediate density lipoprotein. The ideal means intermediate density lipoprotein. Next one is very low density lipoprotein. The very low density lipoprotein functions, as we discussed the very low density lipoprotein, these are the functions of very low density lipoprotein. Very low density lipoprotein transport endogenous triglycerides, phospholipids, cholesterol and cholesterol esters. Its main function is as a body's internal transport mechanism for lipids. It's also for transportation, because lipoproteins are nothing but they transport. In case of very low density lipoprotein also the same function. In addition, it serves for a long range transport of hydrophobic intracellular messengers like morphogen. Okay. Next we go for lipoprotein, that is intermediate density lipoprotein, ideal intermediate density lipoprotein, intermediate density lipoprotein. So it formed by degradation of very low density lipoprotein. Very low density lipoprotein degradation results intermediate density lipoprotein. The size is generally 25 to 35 nanometers in the diameter. It consists of primarily in a range of triglycerols and cholesterol esters. Next we go for the functions of intermediate density lipoprotein. It enables fats and cholesterol to move within the water-based solutions of bloodstream. Each native ideal participant consists of protein that encircles the various fatty acids, imbibing as water-soluble particles as the fatty acids to travel aqueous blood environment as a part of a fat transport system within the body. Okay, note that thing. That's all the main functions of the ideal. Next we go for low density lipoproteins. Low density lipoproteins. Okay, low density lipoproteins, they carries about 75% of total cholesterol. Note that in the human plasma, sometimes also bad cholesterol. The low density lipoproteins are bad cholesterol which are harmful, are also principal cholesterol and fat transport in human blood that carries cholesterol from the liver to the body tissues. Okay, where this carries from cholesterol from the liver to the body tissues, to the body tissues and cells. Next is the functions of lipoprotein, of low density lipoprotein. In metabolism, their function is mediating by cellular uptake via receptor mediated endocytosis, followed by lysosomal degradation. It is strongly dependent on lipid distribution. Mostly its function is lipid distribution from liver to cells and tissues. LDL particles are intimately involved in progression of cardiovascular diseases such as atherosclerosis, which is nothing but heart blockage of heart vessels. Atherosclerosis, they are very dangerous disease which cause heart attack, stroke, which are among the most prevalent causes of death. Okay, raised plasma levels of low density lipoprotein are linked to increasing risk of that disease. Next, the another lipoprotein is a high density lipoprotein. Note, high density lipoprotein. The high density lipoproteins are type of a smallest, and the smallest of lipoprotein particles in the whole lipoproteins. High density lipoproteins are smallest, as we see the size. It is the densest because it contains the highest proportion of protein to lipids. It's the most abundant apolipoproteins. Then the functions of high density lipoprotein. The functions of high density lipoprotein are protect against heart diseases via the role of reverse cholesterol transport. Note this. In case of low density lipoprotein, they are the cause of heart diseases or the increase of bad cholesterol. But high density lipoprotein protect against the low density lipoprotein, protects against the heart diseases where the role is reverse cholesterol transport and the transport of excess cholesterol out of the body. Also, they are part of an innate immunity system due to the ability to bind a number of toxic substances also defined are the reverse cholesterol transport, aid esterification in cholesterol and action, also reservoir for apoproteins that can be transferred to lipoproteins, acceptor of the cholesterol, can accept and soluble the cholesterol. Okay, the metabolism of lipoproteins. Now we discussed the chylomicrons, low density lipoprotein, high density lipoprotein, intermediate density lipoprotein, and very low density lipoprotein. Now we discussed mainly what the metabolism characteristics of these lipoproteins, or the metabolism of lipoproteins. Okay, the chylomicrons. First we take the enzyme lipoprotein lipase with the apolipoprotein C2 as a cofactor hydrolyzes the chylomicron triglyceride, allowing the delivery of free fatty acid to muscles and adipose tissue. A chylomicron remnant is formed in the end. The low density lipoprotein is about 40 to 60% of LDL, means low density lipoprotein, are cleared by the liver in the process of mediated ApoB and hepatic LDL receptors. The rest is taken up by either hepatic LDL or non-hepatic non-LDL scavenger receptors. And when you come to very low density lipoprotein, metabolism is very similar to chylomicrons. The main lipid found in very low density lipoprotein is triacylglycerol and triacylglycerols also. Note that. And fats coming from hepatocytes, uptake of chylomicrons remnants are also source of triacylglycerols for very low density lipoprotein. The metabolism of lipoproteins also in that section only. Let's discuss about high density lipoprotein. High density lipoproteins are synthesized in the liver and the small intestine also. This high density lipoprotein acts as against the low density lipoproteins because they are opposite to LDL. They can protect heart health. Okay, it can reach around 50% of a particle total weight, which can secrete it to the cholesterol, no cholesterol esters. Okay, next we go for the third type of lipids. They are derived lipids. First is simple, the second one is compound, the third one is derived, obtained from hydrolysis of simple and compound compounds. So these simple lipids, these compound lipids, both hydrolysis process can form derived lipids. They include fatty acids, glycerol, steroid and hormones. Fatty acids. They are carboxylic acids with long chain hydrocarbon sites which may be saturated or unsaturated, one or more double bonds. There are two types, one is saturated, other one is unsaturated fatty acids. Saturated means they have only C to C single bond. The unsaturated means they have C to C double bond or C to C triple bond in the fatty acid chain, then we call as unsaturated. If the single bond C to C all single bonds are present, then we call it as saturated. Major source of circulating free fatty acids is adipose tissues. So hydrolysis of chylomicrons and VDL gives free fatty acids. Chylomicrons and VDL they are lipoproteins. So through hydrolysis of lipoproteins can give rise to free fatty acids. Since they have limited solubility in water, they are transported with plasma albumin, which are specific binding sites for free fatty acids. Okay, physical properties of fatty acids. Their solubility, longer chains, more hydrophobic, repellent to water. Okay, they are repellent to water, not hydrophilic, less soluble to the water or the polar compounds. Double bonds increases solubility. So mostly these unsaturated ones, they have more solubility than saturated one. So melting points depend on chain length and saturation, because the saturated fatty acids have low melting points. I think double bonds lead to chain disorder and low melting temperature. Okay, the saturated means those who have single bonds, they have high melting points, they are fat, they are solid in the room temperatures, where in case of unsaturated fatty acids, these unsaturated fatty acids mostly they contain they have low melting temperature. They are normally liquid at room temperature. Okay, the point is clear. There are two types, one is saturated and unsaturated. Saturated, they are mostly the animal fats. They are solid fatty, the solid in nature in the room temperature, because they have C2C all single bonds, they are saturated. And in case of the opposite thing, the unsaturated ones, they are mostly the plant fats. Those are liquid in the room temperature. They consist of C double bond C or C triple bond C, so they have low melting point rather than the saturated one. The unsaturated fatty acids are solids at room temperatures. Okay, so these double bonds lead to chain disorder and low melting temperature. Chain disorder. Here we have to know that chain disorder was a cause of low melting temperature in case of unsaturated one. The physical properties of fatty acids. Fatty acid is various oil reacts with alkaline forms, salts. These salts are from various fatty acids used to soap, emulsifying agents also. So unsaturated fatty acids undergo reduction and converted to saturated fat. They can see unsaturated fat can convert to saturated by reduction. So hydrogenation of vegetable oil results the formation of ghee. So various fatty acids can be separated by mixture of gas chromatography also. The types of fatty acids, when we think, there is a long chain, as we studied it, saturated and unsaturated. Saturated is anionic and unsaturated is anionic. So omega-3 fatty acids, location of double bonds, omega-3 fatty acids, omega-6 fatty acids, these are unsaturated one. Unsaturated, these both are. Okay, the classification is the degree of unsaturation is saturated, unsaturated. Unsaturated again divided into monounsaturated and polyunsaturated. Monounsaturated means whether the whole fatty acid chain consists of only one type of double bond or triple bond, only one place, then they are called as monounsaturated. Polyunsaturated, they have multiple double bonds, then it is called as polyunsaturated. Let's discuss briefly about the fatty acid types: saturated, unsaturated, polyunsaturated. Poly means many double bonds or triple bonds present in the fatty acid chain, then it is called polyunsaturated. With the single, it is called as monounsaturated. Saturated means generally all C2C bonds are single bonds. Then we go for detailed the definition. Saturated fatty acid, no double bonds between the carbons. It is saturated with hydrogen atoms only. Unsaturated are some double bonds with the carbon. The monounsaturated, one double bond. Polyunsaturated, more than one double bond. Let's discuss briefly about the saturated fatty acids. All carbon atoms are joined with single double bonds like this. Then those are called the fatty acid chain as a saturated, highly flexible. They have higher melting points. Note that they are normally solids in the room temperature. Unsaturated, they are normally liquids in the room temperature. They are anionic forms. Suppose example, octadecanoic acid, oleic acid it's called. So they have linkages like double or triple linkages in between the fatty acid chain. They cannot pack tightly together as a saturated fatty acid due to the presence of Nix, because cis double bonds, due to the deformation in the default means due to the double bonds. Due to the chain structure, they are normally liquids in the room temperature. Less thermal energy is required to disturb the interaction, so therefore have low melting points. So that's the reason of low melting points. And this is the diagram of how the saturated and unsaturated fats are there. So here, first we take palmitic acid. The palmitic acid, they consist of all single bonds. We can observe all single bonds. Okay, these are all C to C single bonds. So it is purely saturated. when we go for unsaturated thing, example is linoleic acid. It is polyunsaturated molecule or fatty acid, because we can see in two places the double bonds are present. So it is polyunsaturated fatty acid, linoleic acid, linoleic acid. So polyunsaturated fatty acid, let's the fatty acids contain more than one double bond, then they are called as polyunsaturated. Double bond usually occurs after 3 carbon atoms. Here, usually after 3 carbon atoms, the double bond occurs. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3. Every 3 carbon atom. Here you can see clearly 1, 2, and 3. This is the 3, this is the 2, this is the 1. Every third carbon atom, the double bond can occur. This is a possibility. This is polyunsaturated fatty acids. Main source of these fatty acids are soybean oil, groundnut oil, and sunflower oil. They are also essential fatty acids. They are not synthesized in the body. We are taking from the outside. Example, linoleic acid, as we discussed the diagram, and arganoic acid. The physiological role of PUFA. Okay. Polyunsaturated fatty acids. PUFA means polyunsaturated fatty acids. They are form of essential components of diet. They are necessary for growth, normal health, important constituent of biological membrane. Also used for esterification of the cholesterol and thus help in transportation and metabolism. Diet rich in free fatty acid promote reduction in plasma triglycerides. Arachidonic acid acts as a precursor of echinoids such as prostaglandins and thromboxanes and leukotrienes. Carotenoids, we know that carotenoids are light absorbing pigments. This is an extra topic. Vitamin beta carotene is a source of vitamin A. They also consist of fatty acid, long fatty acid chains. Okay, vitamin A. Let's discuss about steroids. These do not contain steroids. Also, they are derived lipids. They do not contain fatty acids, but they are included in lipids because of lipid-like properties. They didn't contain steroids. Steroids didn't contain fatty acids, but they included in lipids because they are lipid-like properties. Because of lipid-like properties, steroids were included in this section, like derived lipids section, derived lipids, the third classification. They contain a complex carbon framework of fused rings. There are 3 of which have 6 carbon atoms and 4 have 5. Common steroids are sterols. Sterols include cholesterol and ergosterol. That includes sterols like bile acids and salts, steroid hormones. Vitamin D also is steroid. Most common steroid is cholesterol, which consists of 27 carbons. The cholesterol consists of 27 carbons. The steroids, you can see the diagrams. The cholesterol, which consists of 27 carbon atoms, is a steroid. And vitamin D2 and cortisol and testosterone, these are all steroids. Let's discuss about cholesterol. Okay, cholesterol is a steroid. So common steroid in animals, amphipathic in nature, both polar and non-polar, both hydrophilic and hydrophobic. Blood contains of cholesterol of 150 to 250 mg per 100 ml. Increase in blood may lead to deposition, thus causing atherosclerosis, means heart stroke. So the important component of the plasma membrane acts as a precursor of various substances in mammals such as steroid hormones, vitamin D, etc. The bile salts, the derivatives of cholesterol, help in emulsification of fats. Okay, and next we go for prostaglandins. Is a hormone. Prostaglandins, hormone like hormone, 20 carbon containing fatty acids have 1 or more double bonds. Hydroxyl or keto groups have certain carbons and cyclopentane ring. Synthesized aerobically from a polyunsaturated fatty acids. It consists of virtually every mammalian tissue, acts as a local hormone. There are 3 classes, A, E, and F in case of prostaglandins. Okay, the biological action of the prostaglandins. The prostaglandins act as a local hormone. PGs are produced in almost all tissues. They are not stored. They are degraded to inactive products, the site of production also. The PGs are produced in very small amounts. Prostaglandins have low half-lives. And the regulation of blood pressure, that's a very important thing. The prostaglandins acts as a vasodilator, means they can dilate the blood vessels dilation process. result in increased blood flow and decrease in peripheral resistance of lower blood pressure. PG serves as agents for treatment of hypertension, not hypotension, it's hypertension. For if you have hypertension, the prostaglandins are given because they can relieve the blood vessels, so the blood pressure will become low. It controls blood pressure. It lowers the blood pressure normally. And also there is inflammation process also, therefore this help inflammation, redness, swelling, edema. The prostaglandins are natural medicine for inflammatory reactors, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, conjunctivitis in case of eye, and psoriasis. The corticosteroids are used for treatment of inflammatory reactions since they inhibit prostaglandin synthesis, used as a treatment of inflammatory reactions. And in case of reproduction also, the PGE2 and prostaglandin E2 and prostaglandin F2 are used for medical termination of pregnancy and induction of labor pains. The pain and fever, the pyrogens, and also histamine and the bradykinin cause pain. Migraine is also due to PGE2, prostaglandin E2. Aspirin and other non-steroidal drug inhibits the PG synthesis that control the fever and relieve pain, because we get the fever and also pain due to these prostaglandins only. So these prostaglandins were inhibited by usually several non-steroidal drugs which inhibit PG synthesis. Regulation of gastric secretions also, prostaglandins inhibit gastric secretions. PGs are used for treatment of gastric ulcers. Okay, the PGs stimulate the pancreatic secretions of increase the motility of intestine, which often causes the diarrhea. So influence of immune system also present. So these prostaglandins have multiple uses in case of a human health. They regulate many things usually. So mostly these derived lipids, especially the prostaglandins and cholesterol, these regulate the human health much. So lots of research was going on in case of the prostaglandins. So the macrophages secrete a PGE, which decreases the immunological functions of B and T lymphocytes. Even the immune responses can be regulated with prostaglandins. That's very interesting. And next, the effect of respiratory function also influenced by prostaglandins. PGE is a bronchodilator, where the PGE acts as a contractor of bronchial smooth muscle. This is a bronchodilator. Bronchodilator means, I will explain in a new slide. So usually this is the pharynx, and these were the lungs. Suppose, so in the lungs, these air passes waves are present. So it acts as bronchodilator. Means here the bronchioles are present. It acts as bronchodilator. Means these bronchioles are the passages of air. Here the oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange occur. So these gases are passes to narrow vessel. So it dilates the vessel. Means it expands, because normally the persons who are suffering from COPD or like that symptoms, the bronchodilators are used for relief, for more passage of air. So usually the bronchodilator, so it acts as a bronchodilator. What do you act as a bronchodilator? It also the PGE, prostaglandin, is also act as a bronchodilator. With the effect, they expand the bronchioles for much regulation of air through air passages. So it's very important. So if the bronchodilator does not function, then automatically the person suffers with breathing problem. The PGE and PGF also opposes the action of each another in the lungs. So PGEI, PGE2 are used for treatment of asthma also, because they act as bronchodilators. Okay, they also influence in renal function. PG increases the glomerular filtration rate. For more filtration, promote more urine output. So excretion of Na and Cl+ increases by PG when more prostaglandin is effect of metabolism. Also, prostaglandin influence in certain metabolic reactions through the metabolic mediation of CAMP. The PGE decrease the lipolysis, increase in glycogen and formation of promote calcium mobilization also. And platelet aggregation and thrombosis. The prostaglandins, prostaglandins inhibit platelet aggregation also. thrombocytes, and these platelet aggregation mechanism also regulated by prostaglandins. So biomedical application of PGs, there are a lot of biomedical applications. They are used in treatment of gastric ulcers, hypertension, thrombosis and asthma. Prostaglandins are derived lipids. They are also employed in medical termination of pregnancy, prevention and constipation, and induction of conception and induction of labor pains also. Okay friends, have a good day. I think the concepts are clear. So if you have any doubts, please comment, like and subscribe. Signing off, yours Madhu. Take care. Bye.